Hey everybody, welcome back. Psychedelic here. Hope you guys are doing well. Got some vinyl finds for you today. Stuff that I found both locally and then a couple online cheapies that I took chances on. If you guys remember my last video, I said the following day I was going to head out to Hastings, Nebraska. And I did, so it was kind of a nice just getaway trip for the day. I first did head over to Grand Island to check out the Goodwills and the couple antique malls, and came out pretty dry there, and it's about the same distance driving wise on the interstate, so went on to the other half to Hastings, and it's been a couple years since I went to that antique mall, and I did come out with a couple of cool items in the past, and unfortunately a lot of the stock that they had hasn't really changed much, so I did come out there with a couple items, but some of the same records I still remember seeing last time. So, and there's a couple, of course, that I did want, but they were way overpriced. We're talking $100 or so, because they had an original copy of the Baskerville Hounds. That one album, it's called Space Rock Part 2. They wanted $100 for it. And it was pretty clean, but for the music contents alone, it's just not worth that price. So passed on it. A couple things stood out to me, including this one. You could say I took a chance of faith with Change of Pace. This came out in 1970, I believe. I think it did. I just checked up on Discogs. You know, I mean, this cover just kind of stood out to me. I was like, this looks interesting. You know, there's a bunch of different performers on here, like playing the congas, the flute, the xylophone, trumpet. Of course, you got drums and bass, you know, a whole lineup of people. And it turns out this is a private press high school band from Minot, North Dakota. And I think this was mixed at Sound 80 in Minnesota. And currently I have this one for sale. It's the lowest one on Discogs thus far. Got $90 on it. It is a great album, actually, for what it is. I was kind of wondering why 27 people wanted this and it's never sold before, and I saw, you know, a couple other sellers had this priced like over the 100 mark, so I figured it has to be something special, and I was thinking, well, there's probably a drum break in it, and there is. It's not a great drum break, but this is definitely one that I think samplers would enjoy kind of picking pieces from. I did upload some of the stronger tracks on my other channel. You guys know about that. I just uploaded them yesterday. Ashes to Ashes, You'll Never Get to Heaven, Pieces, and their cover version of Hooked on a Feeling is pretty excellent. Very nice, crisp production. Nice discovery. So nice to find something to flip out there. And then this one actually surprised me. Had no idea what this was. Had never seen this online before. It's a CC Rider, Seasons of My Mind, and just looking at that stark cover there, he's just a stark looking fellow. And then there's this happy side. All original tracks, and there was only one track on YouTube, and I did sample it there while I was looking at this, and I was like, well, it could be good, but it could also meander in a different direction I don't want it to go in. He does kind of have a crooning voice, which is actually pretty tolerable in this one, but sometimes those crooners are like a little scary to listen to, but no, he handles it pretty well throughout the whole album. There might be a couple weak tracks, but as far as like singer-songwriter LPs go, he's actually not half bad. It's got a diverse mixed bag of kind of material. It's very much in that sort of Lost Highway kind of drifter from the early 1970s, you know, kind of vibe going on. He sounds like the kind of guy that would be like traveling on the road hitchhiking or something. But I mean, the first track's called Passing Through. But there's some other great highlights on here. Linen Track, Calico Pie, which kind of lingers into like loner folk territory. So yeah, this one did surprise me, and the fact is you can find this for under $10 right now on Discogs, so definitely take a chance with this one. Hopefully I'll be able to upload some tracks very soon onto my other channel. You guys can check some of the highlights from it. So kind of showing these in the order that I received them. So this was one of the online purchases. This is a record that, you know, I've always come across in person, but it was always like under the grade that I want it to be. But I finally picked up on some cheapies, and I got the Hello People self-titled debut on Philips. My introduction to them, I grew up listening to their album Fusion, which is not a very strong LP. They're kind of, it's a very strange band. First off, I mean, they're all dressed up in mime uniforms and the whole makeup going on. But musically, stylistically, they're kind of on like this commercial light, but yet they kind of, they're just not very memorable songs half the time. Well, especially when we're talking about their follow-up, Fusion. It's kind of a mixed bag of like soft ballads and, you know, kind of basic pop rock tunes. And this kind of has some of those moments as well, but this is definitely, I think, their strongest when it comes to psychedelia, perhaps. It's kind of an inconsistent mixed bag, but the track alone, Sunrise Meadow, the second one on here, is kind of like this sort of proto-jazz, proto-prog sort of odyssey going on. Nice flute arrangements, and they kind of jam for like, I don't know, half the track. Some nice fuzz guitar running throughout the mix. And the next track is also one of my favorites, A Stranger at Her Door. It's kind of got this kind of sitcom kind of opening theme sort of vibe to it, which I find kind of amusing, but also very catchy at the same time. So yeah, you can still pick this up for like between $5-10. And I did just that online, so I just thought, you know, we'll just vibe with the Hello People for a while. So I've been wanting it a long time, but like I said, it's been kind of hard to track down in clean shape. So there's some great footage of them online. They do the track Anthem, which is one of the more stronger tracks on their second album. It's an interesting watch. They were on the Smothers Brothers. So Chad, who runs Vintage Vinyl in Lincoln, he always hits me up, you know, he kind of knows what I'm into, but also, you know, if I'm ever on the search for something, he'll let me know if it drops in the shop, and I oftentimes have first dibs at it, which is very generous. And he had shown me a copy of Hawkwind's Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do, and there's a very worn copy. I kind of wanted it, you know, half decent shape, but of course those foil covers, you know, always get ruined pretty quickly. And then there happened to be another copy dropping in, and I told him, you know, if you ever happen to come across another one, let me know. And he did. And this is probably the last one of Hawkwind I need. I mean, this is like, what, their third LP, their studio albums. I'm not like super, you know, crazy about Hawkwind, like their whole discography, but I certainly have like a big love for like their early material, including this one. This is the first one to feature Lemmy the Lurch, as he's known on here, who later go on, of course, to Motorhead. And the production on here, you know, the band is kind of noted to not really liking the production sound, and I can kind of get that. You know, there's a little bit of, it's kind of muddy in the mix, and it kind of sort of blends all together. But of course, it gives it, you know, sort of a unique charm to it. There's a lot of like laser beam sound effects moving throughout, and just this really heavy, sludgy, driven space rock, and it's just simply awesome. It's superlative. Love the band. Love their early stuff. So kind of fits, you know, finishing up the Holy Trinity, which is their first three albums that I needed. So I'll copy on UA. Beautiful, clean copy. Sounds amazing when it's turned up to 11. Then while I was in the shop, you know, I was kind of looking around a little bit. There's a couple like cheapies on my mind that I was hoping that maybe he would have. And he probably had this in the shop for a while, but considering condition, you know, I paid up a little bit for it, but I did want a clean copy of this eventually. And this is, I finally got the missing piece to my Jefferson Airplane collection, which is After Bathing at Baxter's. This is an original copy on the RCA Victor. Very, very clean. And it also contains the insert, which I have right here. It's not in the greatest shape, but original inner sleeve. And if I had to choose like a favorite period of like Jefferson Airplane, it's definitely this one, between this and Crown of Creation. I think those two were like kind of more targeted towards my favorite taste. You can definitely tell they kind of switched more towards a sort of a non-commercial, more electric sort of sound with this album. And you know, it's not really supporting any big hits off of here, except like the opening track, which was released on 45. But yeah, the whole album is kind of one of those things where it's very continuous LP. You know, all the tracks seem to flow together pretty well, and like I said, more electric sounding. So you have a whole lot more going on with like these kind of progressive movements throughout, and they kind of have like these mini suites dispersed throughout, and it's just a great LP experience rather than you know, having a hit single or anything like that. So very pleased to have picked this up. Then finally, for the last online find, this is one I took a chance on. I've seen it around online a few times, and then I noticed it was listed under Sunshine Pop. So kind of sparked my interest a little bit. Took a chance on this one. This is called Design. This is their self-titled debut album from '71. It's on Epic label. That's a promotional copy. Still a yellow label. And yeah, it's definitely certified, you know, under Sunshine Pop, but it's got a lot of like things encompassed with that. You know, a lot of jazz and pop and rock elements kind of all thrown together. Not all the tracks I would say are, you know, superb as far as the genre goes, and it's nothing like in the realm of like Kurt Betcher or anything spectacular like that. But for the price of admission, you'll have some tracks here that you know, kind of nice hidden gems for the genre for sure. What's the third track? Margarita, and the Minstrel's Theme, which opens side 2. Kind of my favorite highlight so far, but I'm still kind of getting used to this one a little bit. I just spun it last night, so it sounded pretty decent so far. They're kind of mostly known for being a vocal pop harmonic group. And apparently they played on television a lot overseas because they were from the UK, so it's kind of hard to find information on them. It seems like they kind of just vanished once they were done with the 5 LP special that they had going on. So yeah, Design. So far, it's just decent. I wouldn't say it's anything I'd return to right away, but who knows? It may grow over time. All right, guys, that about does it. So yeah, don't have anything else. I think I got a few items coming in the mail, and I should be getting one today, maybe. Anyways, guys, take care. We shall see you soon.